Hey, what's up? I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while. It's been about 3 to 4 days that I've been away after the run, after my 30-day running challenge. And I just wanted to kind of just chill, rest a little bit, eat a little bit of snacks and sweets and things that I've been craving, of course. And then also, obviously, just, not running and resting my legs. So kind of stayed away from social media just to, kind of have a mental break as well, because that's not the only thing. It's a physical challenge, but it's mentally too. So I wanted to go through a list. I made a quick little list on my phone just so that we can kind of see, or that I don't miss anything, that I want to share quickly. And it's going to be a short video, hopefully. And the first one is just that it's possible. If you think like, 30 days of running 5 kilometers, whether I said this before, your level, it could be 1 kilometer a day, every day, or 10 kilometers every day for 30 days. It depends on your level and what you feel you can possibly do. It is possible. Like there's what I mean by possible is you think that you will get fatigued every day if you run, but I think that run, especially my run, 5 kilometers, is only 30, sometimes 27 minutes, but I would say average 30 minutes a run. So for that 30 minutes that you are running, you've got 23 hours and 30 minutes of rest from that run. So I think it is definitely possible, and I'm sure you can rest. To be honest, I've said this before, and again, it's just because of level, but there are people that run 7 marathons in a row, for a charity or something. I've seen it. One of my mates have done that in the UK as well. So it is definitely possible to do that if you go into it the right way. So when I say the right way, I'm mentioning here that you have to do it slow. You have to start slow. Start with what you can. If you think you can do 10, but you've never done it, don't do it 10. That just doesn't make sense. Don't set the goal to do 10. If you know that you can do a 5, but you're more than comfortable to doing 3 every day for 30 days, then rather start there first. It's a challenge against yourself. There's no competition. You're not winning money or anything, So just kind of just figure out for yourself what is your level and what you can do. But it's possible. That's the main point. Second here, I've got fatigue. What I felt was obviously fatigue, right? I was tired most of the time, but I have to then say, we're obviously talking about the running. The running does make you tired. Yes, you come home the same as when I train legs for 2 days. I have, kind of like stiff legs, maybe even some soreness. So with running every day, you do feel tired. Coming up the stairs, up and down the stairs. We stay in a 4th floor, so we have to go up the stairs to our apartment every day. Like it kind of, it got tough coming up and down. So you feel that fatigue, but it not in a sense that you're now unfit and you can't do things during the day. It's just you feel a slight little bit of tiredness, especially throughout the day when it comes to like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. But I want to touch on that reason why is not necessarily just the running, but it is because I have gone into a calorie deficit when it comes to food as well. So if you are running, but you're eating like a well-maintenance diet, like enough fuel, carbs, drinking carb sachets and things like that throughout this run or throughout this phase, then potentially you might not even experience fatigue because, you'll be feeling your body and it's going to have enough fuel to run fully, So I'm sure that fatigue is not going to be a big issue with this challenge for you. The second or third one is injuries. Yes, I've basically said about 5 or 6 times or days in this challenge that I've felt some injury in my calf, definitely the calf, my left calf kind of stiffening up, as well as my left ankle. It could be because that was where my knee operation was. Even my hip started to, click a little bit, but it's nothing, again, to talk or to write home about. Let's rather say that, right? It's not something that, the next day I felt like, ooh. I remember there was one day, I think it was day 14 or 15, that, I felt the pain in my knee or in my calf and my ankle and my hip. And I thought to myself, you know what, let's just rest. And then the next day I'll do double. I'll do a 10. And then I rested that one day. And then I did 10 the next day. And everything was fine. Even on the day that I didn't do it, I didn't feel the pain. But it was just like a precaution. Because I didn't want to, kick it out of the or basically lose midway just because of an injury. So I just wanted to make sure. But other than that, again, it's the same thing with the 23-hour rest. If you don't push yourself, you're not going to really get injured. What I can tell you, however, that last run, day 30, I ran under 5-minute pace. I've averaged about 5:30, I would say, which is a good pace, maybe even 5:40. But that the sub 5 that I ran for 2 or 3 days after that, my ankle did give me problems. My knee gave me problems. Everything that kind of hurt before gave me some issues. Reason being, I put way more pressure on it. I mean, you can just think about the force. It's extra force, running faster, harder. This will cause trouble. So if you just ease your way in and, like I said, don't concentrate on the pace but more the challenge, then you could potentially, have an injury-free 30 days. Just do it nice and slow. And again, if you have something that you feel is twitching or so, then rest. And there's no harm or no, how can I say, embarrassment in walking a little bit, Just walking the last kilometer if you feel that something is not right. Because the thing is, the aim is to finish it, to run for 30 days. And if it means walk, then that's fine. I ran a 42-kilometer marathon. I got the medal, but there were times when I walked. A lot of times, to be honest. It doesn't mean that I didn't run a 42-kilometer marathon, Or am I going to tell people, no, I walked one? I ran one, and that's what I did. So injuries-wise, don't really stress. Then when we're talking about strength, people have asked me about my strength. And I must say, again, it comes together in like full circle when it's done, when I can explain this, is yes, I have lost some strength. Purely just because I haven't been pushing myself physically because I didn't want to get an injury, especially when it comes to legs. And secondly, because of the lack of calories. Because I went from a 4,000 calorie meal plan where I was bulking, 4,100 actually, bulking up, pushing hard, doing the 65 dumbbell presses for chest, and I've gone down now to 40. And I wouldn't say I'm struggling, but it's a pretty decent weight. So when it comes to all those things, yes, I have lost strength. And also when you do come back from the run, you have a meal, and you get to the gym, and there's some fatigue. Like I said before, when you spoke about fatigue, you're kind of tired, but not really. And you're just afraid to push yourself to the limit because you're doing a challenge. And I think that is the point of a challenge, is that you can't just carry on. You have to kind of compensate to assure that you actually finish the 30 days. So that's kind of there, You lose a little bit of strength, but nothing too crazy. And I'm sure I'm going to get it back now with the new challenge that I'm going to start tomorrow, which I will talk about soon. Calories, hunger. Again, people are asking, if you run, you burn calories. Are you getting hungrier? Like, are you, feel like you're starving throughout the day, or do you feel you can eat more? I would say, it depends. Yes, when I do long runs, when I used to run like 15, 20, you do come back and your body kind of like screams at you. You just want to eat. And to be honest, you do, because you feel like you deserve to eat because you just burned so many calories. But in this case, again, it's a challenge. And for me, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to cut down. So I kept my calories pretty strict on 2,600. So was I hungry? Yeah. I got hungry throughout the whole course, but not specifically because of the run, but because of the calories, and I was training in the gym. So burning, I was definitely in a massive calorie deficit throughout this whole 30 days. So hunger came in, but it wasn't because of the running, if that makes any sense. I hope it makes sense. Then, time. Again, I spoke to you about the 30 minutes in a day. That is the only thing that you need to offer, that you have to basically give up, is 30 minutes. And for me, it was in the morning. Some people can only do it after work at like 5, 6 p.m. at night. So, that's the only thing that, and again, it didn't bother me, but before you do the challenge, it's something you need to think about. Depending on your pace as well. If you're a fast runner, then surely you can do 5K with under 25 minutes, But if you are slower, which is fine, then it could end up being 35, 40 minutes. So you just need to know that is a part of your daily routine or daily time that you're going to have to set aside to complete this challenge. Muscle gain and muscle loss. So I've got a before picture, which we took right over here. So that's the before picture, and this is the after. Now you can clearly see there are, there's a difference. I've had a comment or two where people say, well, dude, I don't see any difference. Well, I mean, each to their own, right? But for me personally, I think because I kept training, I kept eating really healthy food, I'm sure I maintained most of the muscle on my body. And I think just because the total weight loss was 6 kilograms, so I weighed 111 on the first picture and 105 on the second one, which is a 6 kilogram loss. I think the majority of that would have been potentially, some water weight and also some fat. So I doubt that I lost a lot of muscle. That is something that we can keep to my discretion, I guess. It's just something that I feel that I still have the size when I look at pictures, and when I just look at myself and feel like I really do feel like I've, maintained a lot of it. And then finally, I need to obviously just recommend this to you. I really want to recommend that you do this challenge and you follow this 30 days and just give it your best. Just go out there and try it to your abilities, to your level. If you have any questions, you can always just comment down below. You can DM me on Instagram if you need more questions about it. But I do feel like it's something that would benefit you in the long run. Not only just the run, the 30 days, but the mental strength that you build. I mean, it's tough waking up every single morning knowing that you have to run. There were days where I really, really did not want to do it. But if you can, if you can control your mind, which I now feel like I have, then you can do anything. Like if you tell yourself, I'm going to run 20 kilometers today, for me, for instance, I know I can do it. Because regardless of how tired I get or what the injuries pop up during this run, my mind is going to push way further than my body. It's a fact. I mean, you've seen it in so many sports, athletes, stars, people talk about how the mind is stronger than your body. Yes, you cannot run without legs. That is a fact. But you can push through some discomfort and pain. And when some people maybe feel a little twitch and they give up because they just can't handle it, the winners keep going. And they don't break their legs. They don't lose their legs. They keep going and they have a little bit of discomfort, but they're willing to do that. So if you think about this analogy, right? If there's, coals on the floor and you stand on it, surely it's uncomfortable. It's not right. It doesn't feel good, so you get off it as soon as you possibly can. But I feel some of us are living this uncomfortable lives where we may be overweight or we're struggling with discipline, and it's just this shitty life, to be honest. And you feel like you want to leave. It's basically like the coals. It's hot. It's shitty. You want to get off, but we just don't. And I just don't understand that. So this could potentially be that kickstart in your life where you go, okay, let's do a 30-day running challenge. This is going to help me physically and mentally, and hopefully it'll kickstart the next, mental thing for you. In a sense, like how can I create a better life for myself? I know it's a bit deep because it's just a 30-day running challenge, but trust me, it's really something that could potentially change your life, not just for running, but in the entire whole. All right. Now, if you've been watching the whole full video, tomorrow I'm starting an X challenge, which I'm super, super keen about. And hopefully I can then not only maintain, but potentially even gain a little bit more muscle. And that is going to be a carnivore diet. I'm going to eat meat. I'm going to eat a lot of red meat. I'm going to eat chicken. I'm going to eat, well, not necessarily fish. I'm just not a fish lover, but that you can add to the carnivore diet. I'm going to have some bacon, some pork, and lots of butter. I'm going to have all of those things that, well, steak, obviously, boerewors, mince. I'll show you, obviously, in the video tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to do 30 days of just eating meat. So no vegetables, no carbs. I think the plan I worked out had 2% carbs in it. So, a lot of people are going to ask me about fiber and how I'm going to get that. But I will, in those 30 days, I will explain every single thing. All right. So good luck with your running challenge. If you decide to do it, I would recommend it for sure. I will see you in the next 30-day challenge, which is the carnivore diet. And yeah.